Welcome to this week's episode of Ant on Music. I am your humble host, Ant, and if you haven't figured it out right away what this episode's going to be about, well, they came stomping out of the northwest of the country, out of the Seattle scene, and basically like Bigfoot wearing a flannel shirt. I'm talking about one of my favorite bands from the '90s, Soundgarden. We're going to take a deep dive this week into their albums. Not going to go into so much stuff that's standard issue, like I put up Bad Motorfinger standard issue vinyl back there. No reason to show you it's basic black, but we will talk about it because I do have a box set of that. In fact, we got 3 box sets to go through this week, and we're going to go through their catalog and some rarities that I have. So let's have at it. But before we do, please, if this is your first time here checking out the channel, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you're new here, click the subscribe button. Love to have you come check in. I do a video about once a week. And if not, or even still, if it's your first time, click like, click share. Like I said, subscribe. Like I said, this is an ant colony, and we want to grow that colony. So let's dive into it. We're going to go all the way back to the late 80s. All right. And the first thing we're going to look at, this was combined. This is a re-release. This is the Screaming Life album along with the FOP EP. Okay. And we'll take a look at this, with the what goodies we have in here. All right. And they separated them out into the 2 albums. And this, they're both on basic black, so not much to talk about there. Screaming Life and the FOP EP. Screaming Life came out, then they had Ultra Mega OK came out, and then FOP. But on the re-release, they combined these 2 together. It's got a pretty decent track listing for a first EP album, whatever you want to call it. Hunter Down is a great song. Also, you had Nothing to Say and Sub Pop Rock City, which was the label that they were on at that moment. And then on the FOP EP, you have FOP, Kingdom of Come, and Swallow My Pride. Like I said, pretty basic looking. And this was like the standard for Seattle as far as the photography goes. And, I've said it, hair metal ruled for a long time. All right. And then Nirvana came out of nowhere, it seemed, and then crushed the whole scene and brought us to, the grunge scene and Seattle scene. I'll be honest with you. Looking back now, it was time for a change. Hair metal, basically, by the time this stuff rolled out, it was on its last legs. You had C-list bands, D-list bands getting signed. Basically, if you had big hair and someone that screeched, and you could play 1,000,000 notes an hour, you got signed to a label. Then when Nirvana came out and, their stuff on Sub Pop didn't do anything, but when they finally got to the point of releasing Nevermind, it was like this explosion overnight. And every, rep went up to Seattle to sign who they could sign. I mean, most of that scene existed for, quite a few years before that event happened. You had bands like Mudhoney. You had Malfunction, who I love because they morphed into Mother Love Bone, who eventually morphed into Pearl Jam. But enough about that. Let's get back to the Soundgarden stuff. Next thing up is the Ultra Mega OK album by Soundgarden, and this is a reissue as well. Back in the day, I picked up all their stuff on CD, and we'll take a look at this. You've got the rear side with the track listing there, and let's see, we got the gatefold with the original band members there. You've got Kim Tal, you've got Hiro Yamamoto, you've got Matt Cameron, and of course, probably the last great rock and roll singer in Chris Cornell. This album had on it Flower, Beyond the Wheel, Circle of Power, Smokestack Lightning, Head Injury, Incessant Mace, which they continue to play for years and years. And then on the Ultra Mega EP, they had Head Injury, Beyond the Wheel, and Incessant Mace. He didn't, All Your Lies, and Incessant Mace. And we'll take a look at this. You've got your lyrics and liner notes here. Photograph of Kim and Hiro there. And also on this side, we've got Matt as well. And, same thing, liner notes, good stuff to read in each of the albums. And with this album, once again, basic black, nothing more to see there. After that came about, this is when things got them a little more interest from the labels. I believe they jumped to SST, if I'm correct. And that brought us the Loud Love album, okay? And this is Louder Than Love, all right? And on here you had Ugly Truth, Hands All Over is a great song, Gun, Power Trip, Get on the Snake, Full on Kevin's Mom, Loud Love, I Awake, No Wrong, No Right, Uncovered, Big Dumb Sex, which is a cover of Cheech and Chong tune, and Full On, the reprise. And this is, pretty basic. Got that label there, and track listing, logo there. Once again, basic black so far, nothing colored, nothing funky. What's going on with that? All right, well, we're going to get into some of the cooler stuff right away. Before we get into, let's take a look at this. Before all this, we'll go to a couple of the little discs, all right? And this is, one of the ones, it's not terribly rare, but this is the Soundgarden Bad Motor Finger album with Soames, the EP attached to it. And it had the basic track listing, first time with the new tongue, track listing along with the Soames EP, which had Into the Void, which is the Sabbath tune, but what they did was they attached to it the poetry of an American Indian chief, Chief South. Then you have Girl You Want, which is the Devo cover, Stray Cat Blues, She's a Politician, and Slaves and Bulldozers Live. And that was a cool thing to find back in the day to go along with the the original album. Then they also had what they called the this was the an EP of basically live stuff, and this is Live Love. And with this was a radio promo only. All right, and I got this back when I worked in radio. And this has a track listing of Beyond the Wheel, Get on the Snake, Hunted Down, I Awake, Gun, Big Dumb Sex, Big Bottom, which is a cover of the Spinal Tap tune, and closing out with Earache My Eye, which is a cover of Cheech and Chong that they used to perform live as well. And this is a live EP. Kind of hard to come by. It's kind of neat. Next up, might as well talk about this. We kind of skipped over Soundgarden, the Bad Motor Finger. This album was badass, but, why don't we just supersize this and let you check it out in the big version. We'll take a look at our first of 3 box sets, all right? This is one of the cooler box sets in my collection, all right? And let's see if we get this to work here. Oh, might have to turn it on. Let's see. There we go. The Bad Motor Finger spinning wheel of death right there. We'll turn that off because it's going to spin us off into the next universe. And this is a great box set to have. It's got some cool stuff in here. We'll take a look at that right now as this continues to spin till it comes to a stop. We've got a lenticular version of the cover. Pretty neat looking. All right. All right, got that. And then we have this book, which goes into, where they were at as far as making this album is concerned. And also you got lyrics, got some great photos of the band from that era. And we got the lyrics for Slaves and Bulldozers up top, and lyrics to Jesus Christ Posed on the bottom. In addition to that, we have some cards. Poster cards, basically, of each of the band members. You got Ben, you got Chris, you got Kim, and of course, Ben on bass, all right? And then in here, they have all sorts of goodies in here. You have a Bad Motor Finger patch, Bad Motor Finger decal, another Bad Motor Finger decal of the spark plug from the album. And if I didn't mention before, this is the 25th anniversary edition. It tells you how to hook up that spinning wheel right there. And then you have the discs, which in this case, they loaded them in basically so they like spin, all right? Gives you the idea of motion. And, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what's on this, since we didn't really talk much about the Bad Motor Finger album when I showed you the other version that I have. So with this, okay, we have a 6-disc set, right? Actually, 7-disc set. And with this, disc 1 is the album remastered. So you have, the classic album. You have Rusty Cage, Outshine, Slaves and Bulldozers, Jesus Christ Pose, Face Pollution, Somewhere, Searching with My Good Eye Closed, Room 1,000 Years Wide, Mind Riot, Drawing Flies, Holy Water, and New Damage. Definitely a rock solid album. Disc 2 is studio outtakes, previous unreleased stuff. You have New Damage, which on this version has Brian May on guitar, and Black Rain, which ended up getting released later on. And they have, what else do they have on here? Basically the same track listing elsewhere. Disc 3 is Live at the Paramount, Part 1, and that has the track listing of Searching with My Good Eye Closed, Hands All Over, Drawing Flies, Room 1,000 Years Wide, Gun, Flower, Little Joe, Big Dumb Sex, Face Pollution, Incessant Mace, and Rusty Cage. Disc 4 is Live at the Paramount, Part 2, Outshine, Mind Riot, Beyond the Wheel, Into the Void, Jesus Christ Pose, Hunted Down, Somewhere, and Slaves and Bulldozers. Disc 5. This is the DVD version, which combines disc 3 and 4. Disc 6, which is Motorvision, what they called it, which was a DVD they put out, which is basically their videos that they made for this album. And then disc 7 is Blu-ray audio of the original album, plus Cold Bitch, She's a Politician, and Birth Ritual, which Birth Ritual ended up on the single soundtrack. And Jesus Christ Posed, Outshined, and Rusty Cage music videos as well. And in addition to that, all right, let's put this back away as it should be. I actually lied. There are four Soundgarden box sets that I have for you. I have 3 here, and I'm going to end up pausing the video because I forgot to grab the 4th one, and that's the coolest one of all, I think. All right, so you have that. All right. So I'm going to pause it here for a second while I go grab that 4th box set, so this way I can show you everything in my Soundgarden collection. So stay right there. All right, so now I'm back. I grabbed that other Soundgarden box set, put it in the pile here, and we're going to go back to what we were talking about. Now, the next album up for Soundgarden was Super Unknown, but before that came out, there was this radio promo only CD that came out, and I managed to grab a copy of that back when I was working in radio, and it was called Four Shocks. All right, you got it right there. It's got, it's a greatest hits collection, okay, and take a look at the CD there. All right, very happy to have this one in my collection, and got the booklet, which basically liner notes, and a little bit of where the band was at that time. And it's got a pretty cool track listing as well. Got their quote-unquote hits. You got Jesus Christ Pose, Spoon Man, Heretic, Hands All Over, Loud Love, Come Together, cover of the Beatles tune, Black Hole Sun, Fell on Black Days, Outshine, Super Unknown, Big Dumb Sex, and HIV Baby, which, if I'm correct, was on the SFW soundtrack. So you have that. This one's kind of hard to come by. If you can hunt this down, I think it's worthwhile, but I'm a huge Soundgarden fan. And that is the forerunner to this, which is probably the best known album from the Soundgarden catalog. I would say it's definitely one of their bigger hits. And we'll take a look at that. Came with a nice booklet. And there's the artwork on the gatefold. And we'll open this up this way so you can get a look at the entire cover of the booklet that came with it. And this was a reissue that I managed to get. Like I said, back in the day, I bought almost everything on CD. It's got the lyrics going throughout. And the cool thing about this was they also put out a box set for this as well. And do I have that box set? Of course I do. And that box set is right here. And that has the lenticular cover. It's kind of an odd-shaped box set. So you have that. And with this box set, it has, the story of where they were at. David Frick from Rolling Stone magazine wrote up a nice essay in there. You get some more photos of the boys in the band in the studio there working out the tunes. You get lyrics, liner notes from every single song. Take a look at that. And this box set has the album on Blu-ray. And in addition to that, there's the Blu-ray. I'll show you the Blu-ray. That's by itself, Blu-ray audio. And then you've got the album itself, B-sides and more, demos and rehearsals. So you've got everything right there. It's a great disc set to have. It covers, it covers this entire album in great detail. And this was definitely one of my favorites. I got to see Soundgarden on tour a couple of times. One time was at the New York State Armory down in Manhattan, and they literally had no AC. There were basically those standing metal fans that oscillate. It was so hot there, people were passing up standing up. They were passing out standing up, and they were like, literally, if you move, people would just fall over. I remember me and my buddies Jimmy and Ralph and Glenn going down to the men's room and literally just putting our heads under the taps, just drowning ourselves in water because it was so freaking hot in the place. Since it's easier to go through the track listing on this, we'll take a look at it from here. Let Me Drown kicks it off. My Wave. Fell on Black Days, one of the best songs in their catalog. Mailman. Title track, Super Unknown, another fantastic track. Head Down. Black Hole Song, which was a monster tune back in the day. Spoon Man, which was a great, huge tune. When I got to see them, they actually brought out Artemis, the Spoon Man, to play live when we saw them, which was pretty neat. Limo Wreck, The Day I Tried to Live, Kickstand, Fresh Tendrils, which I love. 4th of July, break that one out next week. 4th of July is coming. Half, Like Suicide. There's a great acoustic version of Like Suicide on the box set, and She Likes Surprises. The thing that to me that always stood out about Soundgarden was the fact that even though they got put in with the grunge category, and it's not that they don't deserve it, but to me there was so much more. I mean, one, what set them apart for me, aside from Chris Cornell's voice, which is probably one of the best vocal instruments in the history of hard rock and metal and grunge and whatever you want to put, rock and roll period, and the story. What set them apart was, one, their rhythm section, whether it was Hero and Matt or Ben and Matt, they work seamlessly together. And the other thing was Kim Tal, their guitarist. He creates an awful lot of unique sounds, and he draws on his heritage, coming from, from Cincinnati, but his family originally migrated from India. And it's pretty outstanding the way he works that stuff in, and you also have that very sludgy, heavy, Sabbathy sound that they create, and it's really unique. Each of the big four Seattle bands, they have their own uniqueness to them, but for me, as a total package between vocals and everything else, Soundgarden is just a little bit above everybody else. I'm sure some people will fight me on that, but that's okay. It is what it is. Getting back. All right, next album up. All right, they continued their success with Down on the Upside. Take a look at the interior there, the back, and if memory serves me correct, this is also basic black vinyl. It is, so really nothing spectacular to see there, but it does come with these nice little inserts which have the lyrics on there and the liner notes for each of the albums, and it is a 2-album set, so you do get both of them right there. And this album's fantastic as well. I mean, it's always been a big fan of theirs. Otherwise, why would I have all this stuff? And for this album, you got the track listing of Pretty Noose, Rhinosaur, Zero Chance, Dusty, Ty Cobb, which is absolutely killer, Blow Up the Outside Wall, Burn It in My Hand, Never Named, Applebite, Never the Machine Forever, Tighter and Tighter, No Attention, Switch Opens, Overfloater, and Unkind, and Boot Camp. So you have that, got some outstanding songs and some pretty killer videos that they made as well for this album. And, second time I got to see them was as co-headliners with Metallica on Lollapalooza '96. And holy crap, that was some pit that was going on out at Randall's Island in Manhattan for that album. Pretty cool stuff. Next thing that we have here is the Soundgarden compilation. All right, the A-sides. Okay, and this gathers together everything that you would expect them to have on there. As far as the labels go, they put the guys on the labels. I'm not going to show everything. Once again, basic black, nothing to scream home about. And the track listing on this, if you're looking for nothing else than to get the hits, or Soundgarden's hits. I mean, it's like they're not exactly a top 40 pop band like Bon Jovi. You've got Nothing to Say, Flower, Loud Love, Hands All Over, Get on the Snake, Jesus Christ Post, Outshined, Rusty Cage, Spoon Man, Day I Tried to Live, Black Hole Sun, Fell on Black Days, Pretty Noose, Burning in My Hand, Blow Up the Outside World, Ty Cobb, and Bleed Together. This is a great place to start for the novice. Definitely, in my mind, they come highly recommended. Okay. Next thing that we're going to throw at you, we've got a live album, all right, which, oddly enough, I don't know why I didn't buy it on vinyl. Have not been able to find it. And that is back here. That is, where is it? Live on the i5, right? And it says it's their first live album, but if you've owned box sets and stuff, there was live stuff released there. And this is a pretty good representation of what it was like to see them live. You have Spoon Man, Search With My Good Eye Closed, Let Me Drown, Head Down, Outshine, Rusty Cage, Burden in My Hand, Helter Skelter, the Beatles cover, Boot Camp, Nothing to Say, Slaves and Bulldozers, Dusty, Fell on Black Days, Search and Destroy, which is another cover as well. I believe it is Iggy and the Stooges, Ty Cobb, Black Hole Sun, and Jesus Christ Pose. And like I said, if you're new to them, this is a great way to start. Now, I didn't manage to get this, but somehow I managed to get this, which is pretty rare, all right? 10-inch album, okay? Not many tracks. It's only got 5 tracks on it, and this is Soundgarden Before the Doors live on the i5. So this is like a practice session, rehearsals before they hit the stage. It has only 5 tracks, No Attention, Never the Machine Forever, Cover the Doors tune, Waiting for the Sun, which is pretty cool to hear their version of it, Room 1,000 Years Wide, and Somewhere. And this is colored, so we'll give this a peek. This is a pretty cool colored vinyl. Transparent orange right there, very cool looking. And, labels. We'll pop this out here. It's pretty neat looking little 10-inch vinyl. Show you both sides. That's that. All right. And, we're going to finish off with one more album and 2 more box sets. And when I show you the final box set, you'll be like, how the hell did you forget that? That thing is so flipping cool. So why don't we do this? We'll finish off with their standard catalog, and then we'll wind up with the 2 boxes. This was their final album that they put out while Chris was alive, King Animal. This is a great album. Very cool cover. All right, gatefold, rear, and you had the first single, Been Away for Too Long. Great opening track. Non-State Actor by Crooked Steps. 1,000 Days Before, Blood on the Valley Floor, Bones of Birds, another great track. Tari, Attrition, Black Saturday, Halfway There, Worst Dreams, Eyelids Mouth, and Rowing. And with this they did it as a bone-colored vinyl, and it also comes with this really nice book that shows you some artwork, photography of the band. It's very, very neat. And obviously, this is where your lyrics and liner notes are contained. And it is a colored vinyl. There's a picture of Mr. Matt Cameron. And Mr. Shepherd. And finally, Mr. Kim Toll. dude does not get enough credit as a guitarist. I'm telling you, he is phenomenal. You know, to come up with the stuff that he comes up with for this band has been incredible. And this is on the bone white vinyl. Very cool looking. All right. And it's a double album set, but I don't want to be on here for, 6 hours showing you the Soundgarden stuff. I want to give you a glimpse and, let you go out and find this stuff for yourself. It's some pretty cool stuff. I love them. They're definitely one of my favorites of all time. And like I said, for me, the best of the Big Four of the Seattle Big Four. So now we have 2 box sets. So we're going to do the live one, and then we're going to do the one that, I don't know how that frig I forgot. So this is Live at the Artist Den, all right? So you have this one. And with this, it's on Blu-ray, compact disc, and 180-gram vinyl. Take a look. It opens kind of unusually. I've managed to keep this in one piece for a few years without any of the stuff actually falling off. And with this, it comes with, a book. Let's move this out of the way a little bit. I should put it down. I'm always worried it's going to fall. Live from the Artist Den. And pictures of the band live. From their performance. And it's got a really good track listing. So we'll take a look at that. Let's grab this out. This is all the discs that they have. It even comes with a laminate, remake of a laminate. And who remembers tickets? Replica ticket. I always used to have them. I still have all my tickets somewhere in a box. Believe me, I know where they are. And this has, the 3 discs housed here, as well as this picture of Chris, Kim, Matt, and Ben. All right. These are actually really nice. They're heavy duty. They're not cheaply made. They're not flimsy. They're on like a decent weight cardboard. And this was a live show that they did live at the Artist Den. And let's talk about the track listing here. Show you the albums. They're basic black. There's nothing to scream about as far as each of these goes. So you have one for each of the guys in the band. It's pretty neat there. And let's talk about music. All right. So as far as this is concerned, you got a ton of stuff on here. You have Incessant Mace, one of the oldest tracks in their catalog. My Wave, Been Away Too Long, Worst Dreams, Jesus Christ Pose, Flower, Tari, Spoonman by Crooked Steps, Blind Dogs, Rowing, Non-State Actor, Drawing Flies, Hunted Down, Black Saturday, Bones of Birds, Blow Up the Outside World, Fell on Black Days, Burn It in My Hand, 1,000 Days Before, Blood on the Valley Floor, Rusty Cage, New Damage, 4th of July, Outshine, Black Hole Sun, Ty Cobb, Slaves and Bulldozers, and Feed Bacchanal. And it also has on the Blu-ray some interviews with the 4 members of the band. And, it's replicated on the CDs and on the 180-gram vinyl. So it's, an excellent sounding album. And here is the hype sticker. I've kept that all these years as well. And I'm going to tuck that back away. So that is the Live from the Artist Den collection from Soundgarden. If you're a fan, this is obviously based on its price tag for more than just a casual fan. And finally, right, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous set. This is Telephantasm, all right? And this was a limited number edition box set. I got a really low number. I think there were 10,000 made. I got number 601. When I heard this was coming out, I jumped through hoops for this. This was great. Really cool looking artwork on the gatefold. And this isn't your typical gatefold. Look how heavy duty that is. There's a lot of stuff in here. So let's open this up and take a look. All right. This is what you call a really awesome greatest hits package collection that you have from the band. you've got this envelope here full of, artwork and lyrics. You also get this nifty looking little 45 here, which is, it's colored vinyl. It's like a brown and black kind of swirl, cosmic swirl there. And with this, track listing on this is the single that came from this, which was Black Rain, followed up with a version of Beyond the Wheel Live. And give you a look at the cover of this as well. So the artwork for this was outstanding all the way around. So you have that. And as far as the rest of the artwork goes, this was on a poster. There's also a t-shirt. I have a t-shirt of this as well. Once again, photos of the band. Matt, Kim, Ben, and Chris. All right. I mean, Chris, like I've said it before, great vocals. His banshee wail, like he would go from a banshee wail down to the most delicate vocals, and it was always fantastic to hear him. Definitely one of the greatest voices in rock and roll. You also have in here the whole cover from the album laid out front and back. It's pretty neat. And in addition to that, you have the lyrics and liner notes here on this insert. All right. And in addition to that, it comes with this book. All right. And the book, once again, great pictures of the band in a live setting, studio pics. This is about as good as it gets as far as having a collection. And if you're unfamiliar where the name Soundgarden came from, it's an actual garden up in Seattle where wind blows through these pipes and it creates sound. So that is that. And as far as the vinyl's concerned, right, the vinyl, all right, this is, like I said, one of the most coolest looking vinyl pieces in my collection. And you also have the CDs and Blu-ray. All right, you have that. And there was also a standalone CD that came with it. All right, and the track listing on this is Hunted Down, Hands All Over, Outshine, Rusty Cage, Birth Ritual, My Wave, Spoon Man, Black Hole Sun, Fell on Black Days, Bird in My Hand, Blow Up the Outside World, and Black Rain. And with this, look at this. This is very cool. And these are heavy duty cardboard, sleeves. They're not cheap and chintzy. They made it worth the money. So you've got this pretty cool green cosmic swirl going on. Okay. This is disc 1. All right. And, it goes through their career. It's like, I'm not going to repeat over and over again the track listings on these things because, is there repetition? Yeah. Does the casual fan need this? Probably not. Does a, ridiculously, super fan like me, need all this stuff? Probably not, but I like it anyhow, so I get it. Here's another one. Like I said, they did an outstanding job. It's like another brownish, reddish, orangish colored swirl. And that is side 3 and 4 right there. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we go to the last one of these. All right. This one's cool as well. Yeah, look at that. Pretty gorgeous, huh? That's some gorgeous vinyl right there. So that is everything that I have in my Soundgarden collection. Telephantasm, very cool collection. I remember when this came out, and to hear that they were back, I was like, wow, I never thought they were going to get back together again. And it came out, and I certainly hope, I know that there's word that the boys have made peace with Chris's widow, and I certainly hope that is true, because I would love to hear the last remaining bits of Soundgarden stuff that's still on file or tape or however it was recorded. One last time to hear Chris's voice live would be fantastic. Want to thank you for stopping by, checking out the channel. Hope you enjoyed this week's show. If you did, turn some friends onto it. Tell other people about, hey, there's this old goat that talks about music, and maybe they'll stop by and check it out as well. But that is everything in my Soundgarden collection. As I always say, click subscribe. Peace. One love. Music. I'm out. Have a great week.